Welcome to the channel, guys. So, you've heard the news. 007 is now going to be a woman. Not James Bond, but 007. And I did a video on it yesterday where I lost my temper just a little bit, okay? I'll leave that video link down below. If you want a bit of a comedic stab at the whole thing, go check the video out. A few things I wanted to address from the video, though, which I actually forgot to address, was that I do find it funny that they are quite literally just continuously doubling down on trying to get woke points, I guess you could say. I think everyone seemingly forgot that they race swapped Moneypenny. So not only are we have a black Moneypenny, fine actor actually, really, really fine actor. But not only that, they then have now given the 007 mantle over to a woman and a black woman. And again, it's not really an issue. However, the books of James Bond, it's 007, James Bond, they're synonymous with one another. And if they are not setting up the future of the James Bond franchise, I don't know what they are doing. Because again, I repeat, like, who is this for? This isn't for fans of James Bond. Fans of James Bond like the misogynistic sort of take on the franchise, I guess, if you can call it anything. You know, where he does bed women, it's what he does. But they don't jump into bed with them straight away. He has to wait till the end of the film to bed them. Which I find ironic, because now we're not allowed to call them Bond girls. Apparently people on set are not allowed to call them Bond girls. They're Bond women, and all of this nonsense. So what I thought I would do, having just addressed all of that crap, is then take a look at a feminist's opinion of 007 now being Lashana Lynch. Okay? Mainly just because I thought it was funny, to be perfectly honest, and I think we can all have a good laugh at it. The Mary Sue is a hilarious website for many, 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 many reasons. It is misandrist to the core. Hello, Jasper. My dog has just come over. He wants to stay up to date on this as well. And if you do, make sure to hit subscribe. So anyway, it's a misandrist website. It's just a bunch of men haters. Like, it absolutely is. You only need to take a look at the articles. So they've done their take on this, and I wanted to bring it to you, their hot take. And we'll just critique it. So it says, move over, Daniel Craig. There's a new 007 in town. Film insiders say that the latest film in the Bond film franchise, known as Bond 25, will see Lashana Lynch take over Bond's 007 designation and a license to kill. Now, a lot of people have said, why are you annoyed with this? Because they're not making it James Bond. No, they're not. But they're still replacing 007. 007 will no longer be James Bond. It'll be Lashana Lynch. Which begs the question, what are they then going to do in future? Will Lashana Lynch just be 007? Will the franchise move to be 007, not James Bond? Because I think they are actually running out of material to adapt at the moment. I think there's like one more book or something like that. So I think that's probably what they're trying to do. And if you don't think that, then I'd love to hear why. Because to me, that seems blatantly obvious. And if that is the case, I'm very much certain that Ian Fleming is not going to be best pleased. Obviously, he's not here anymore. But I'm fairly certain he wouldn't have approved of this. You know, considering this is his property. This is what he wrote. Anyway, but this doesn't mean that Lynch is the new James Bond. After all, the film's star is still Daniel Craig, in his final outing as the iconic spy. And that's the key point there, the final outing. Lynch's character, Nomi, is an agent who takes over Bond's number after he retires. But since it is, after all, a Bond film, chances are he won't stay retired for long. No, but, you'd be pretty naive to think that they're not putting the feelers out there for setting this up in the future. You'd really be naive. So it says, according to the Daily Mail, there is a pivotal scene at the start of the film where M says, come in 007, and in walks Lashana Lynch, who is black, beautiful, and a woman. That whole sentence makes me... I literally laughed out loud yesterday. It makes me laugh so hard. It's just ridiculous. It is the most virtue-signalling sentence I've seen written in an article for a while. It's a popcorn-dropping moment. Bond is still Bond, but he's been replaced as 007 by this stunning woman. Bond, of course, is sexually attracted to the new female 007 and tries his usual seduction tricks, but is baffled, because apparently he's just a big dumb idiot now, He's baffled when they don't work on a brilliant young black woman who basically rolls her eyes at him. Every Bond girl does that. You name a Bond girl that he doesn't try to bed at the start and doesn't, but gets with them at the end. You name it. Tell me. I'd love to hear. Name a Bond girl that format doesn't follow. And has no interest in jumping into his bed. Certainly not at the beginning. So she just does what every other Bond girl does then. Way to break the mould. This fresh feminist addition to the Bond canon is likely the work of writer Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the Fleabag star. Now, I don't know who this is. I'm not really familiar with the work, but I did take a look, and based on some comments as well. Fairly certain in Fleabag, she plays a sex addict and like a down and out. And then she went on, and now she's branding herself a feminist writer. Okay. What? With bringing a fresh perspective to the tired franchise. It's not tired. It's just out of ideas. It's not been nurtured correctly. The Broccolis don't know how to handle it. Waller-Bridge said of her work on the project, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Bond franchise is relevant now because of who he is and the way he treats women. Who has been saying this? No one. I think that's bollocks. I think he's absolutely relevant now. It has just got to grow. It has just got to evolve. And the important thing is that the film treats the women properly. He doesn't have to. He needs to be true. He needs to be true to his character. But that's not... Again, no. So he can stay true to his character, but you're going to write women around him to belittle his character, to make him look like an idiot. That's what I read from that. It's all well and good saying, it has just got to grow, it has got to evolve, that's fine. And the important thing is that the film treats the women properly. He doesn't have to, he needs to be true to his character. So he goes ahead and treats women badly, and everyone else chastises him for it, and says, get with this Me Too movement now, guys. You're a misogynist. I mean, what? What does that say to you? This is their hot take. This is a promising direction for Bond 25, which has been besieged by issues from the start, and it has. Danny Boyle left because there was creative differences. Maybe this was it. Maybe he said, "Why are you doing this, Bellend?" He has since been replaced by Cary Fukunaga. Can't really say that name, but whatever. Shooting was delayed after Craig injured his ankle and the crew member was wounded during a controlled explosion on set. The film is scheduled for release sometime in 2020 and will be Craig's final outing as Bond. Rami Malek also stars as the film's villain. He's a great actor. Rumours have been swirling that the next Bond could be Richard Madden or Idris Elba, though both have denied their involvement. Sounds like they're probably not going to have Bond. Or maybe they'll have I don't know. How are they going to do this? Many fans have been clamouring for a female Bond. What? James Bond fans have been clamouring for a female Bond? Have they? No, they haven't, you disingenuous twit. You disingenuous twit. Or a Bond of colour. No, they haven't. People have said Idris Elba would probably make a good Bond, and yeah, he probably would. But it's not because he's black. Colour of his skin's got literally nothing to do with it. He would make a good Bond. If anyone's seen Luther, there you go. He'd make a great Bond. And while Lynch will not be taking over as Bond herself, it's exciting to see her don the iconic number. Who knows what the future holds for Bond as a character, but here's hoping he leans into a more progressive, modern bent. And you know what? You know what I say to that? I say, get bent, the Mary Sue, you misandrists. I think this is bad for many, 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 many reasons. It is pandering. It is pandering. It is for shock and awe. This isn't for a James Bond fan. It's definitely not for fans of the books. This is definitely not following in what I assume Ian Fleming would want. I think this is disrespectful to what Ian Fleming would want, how he wrote his characters. Just to completely disregard them. You wouldn't suddenly turn some of the hobbits black in Lord of the Rings, would you, for God's sake? But now I've said it, I'm sure there'll be an article pop up about it. How the Lord of the Rings fails people of colour, or some crap like that. This is the world we live in now, ladies and gentlemen. So I thought I'd bring you this. a feminist's opinion on Bond 25. What do you think? Let me know down below. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Make sure you share and like this video. The previous one was demonetized. It is monetized now, but it was demonetized for the most part. So, you know, hopefully this one won't as well. But if you like what I am doing, I have links to my Patreon. There's a PayPal. There's an affiliate link for Amazon. Click it, shop for Amazon. Support the channel many, many different ways, or just simply watch the videos. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.